Do we have a unison affirmation? Well, please join me for the unison affirmation. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love to all living beings. May we know once again that we are not isolated, but connected in wonder and joy to the mystery and miracle in the universe, in this community, and in each other. Please join me for the chalice lighting. And you can put in the chat box where you're from. Okay, we have new words, so as soon as they go up, we'll read the chalice lighting words.
Don, the words are not available.
Okay, I'll read them. Here we are. With full hearts, we affirm our relationships with one another. We recognize our agency and our connective power. And we accept our responsibility to be bold and courageous. We light this chalice, symbol of all that we are, all that we have done together, and all that we will be as our shared ministry encourages those within and beyond our walls. And now we will have the hymn.
Don, let's first have the opening words, okay?
I don't have opening words.
I do. I'll read the opening words before the hymn.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Opening words.
Thank you. The opening words are from Heidi Cottom, a member of the UU Church of Ogden, Utah. Let us be a faith that gathers, reaching for one another through the walls of hate others build, through the cages of ignorance and arrogance, and through the fear that burns city streets. Let us be a faith that sees a vision of a better world, more compassionate, more just, more holy, and with more love. There is the faith that binds up the broken, cauterizes battle wounds with the balm of peace, sings longer and louder than the trumpets of war. Let us be that faith too. Let us be the ones who do not tread lightly in this world, but light it up with our love, who hold up the mirror of worth and dignity, who are the sanctuary others seek. But first, let us be a faith that worships together here this morning, in this space, at this moment. Let us be a faith. Now we will have a hymn. It's pre-recorded. It's sung by Peter Criswell, accompanied by Catherine. There's a river.
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. And it's telling me that I'm so
Not for Children Only will be with Cheryl Chandler this morning. Cheryl?
Hi, can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Yes, okay. So I'm reading a story called Whoever You Are by an author I love. Her name is Mem Fox. I'm sorry, I don't have a slideshow. I have no technical skills, so we'll have to read the old-fashioned way by turning pages in a book. Whoever you are. Little one, whoever you are, wherever you are, there are little ones just like you all over the world. Their skin may be different from yours, and their homes may be different from yours. Their schools may be different from yours, and their lands may be different from yours. Their lives may be different from yours, and their words may be very different from yours. But inside, their hearts are just like yours. Wherever they are, whoever they are, all over the world. Their smiles are like yours, and they laugh just like you. Their hurts are like yours, and they cry like you too. Whoever they are, wherever they are, all over the world. Little one, when you are older and when you are grown, you may be different. And they may be different. Wherever you are, wherever they are in this big wide world. But remember this, joys are the same and love is the same. Pain is the same and blood is the same. Smiles are the same and hearts are just the same. Wherever they are, wherever you are, wherever we are, all over the world. Whoever You Are by Mem Fox.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's pause for a minute and close our eyes. Let's relax our bodies, families, our friends, the people we know, those that may be going through some, maybe there's a concern in their life, maybe there's strife.
They can't hear us.
If you would place their names in your mind and in your heart into our sacred space so that we together can give you support with our energies. I'd like to place the names of Marie Young, who is recovering from COVID-19 and Lyme disease. Diane Anderson, who is recovering from a fall. Bill Lindsay, who is recovering from kidney surgery. Let's turn our attention now to joys. Those in our life, our friends, those we know, that have joy that is happening or is soon to be. Let's place their names in our sacred space so that we can celebrate with you through our energies. I place my family members in this space. We're looking forward to a visit from my 21-year-old grandson. Please think of your family and your friends and your loved ones. Thank you. Now we will have our offering. This morning, we will split our donations with the Center for Creative Education. There should be a slide. Yeah. So this gives the ways in which you can donate. You can go to the website after the service, text, using a phone app, or you can send your check to UU Catskills. Catherine will play our offering song, No Ends. Our reflection this morning has been pre-recorded by our Reverend Leonisa. It's on the third UU principle.
Society, my home congregation, in the early 2010s. We became close when we created a Soulful Sundown series on Sunday evenings. Along with other events, Julie and I planned and offered a Jazz Vespers service one Sunday a month. I handled the music, Julie crafted the service. The aim in initiating this series at Fourth U was to offer an additional opportunity for members and newcomers and outsiders to have an alternative spiritual experience that would hopefully encourage spiritual growth. Julie and I were of the same mind. There are many ways to experience the divine, and as we tap into these different methods, we open up different parts of ourselves. When it came time for ordination, Julie asked me to sing the service, a distinct honor, which I joyfully did with a wonderful band. And for the benediction, which, as you may or may not know, is the first thing a newly ordained minister in the UU tradition says to the gathered congregation, Julie held up the third principle. Julie asked those gathered to remember that there are two parts to the principle: the acceptance of one another and the encouragement to spiritual growth. Reverend Julie stressed that it is important to accept one another and oneself, especially as Unitarian Universalists, a people who claim to welcome all. But while we are being accepting, we should remember that we all have work to do. I'm not sure that's how she phrased it or it was phrased that day, but the sentiment is what stuck with me. We should accept one another and ourselves, and we can always do better. We should work to become more connected to our individual spiritual lives, our own blind spots, our biases, our challenges, our flaws, our enduring questions. And we should work to become more connected to our collective spiritual growth, our we-ness, our efforts at supporting one another and holding one another accountable, our challenging of the status quo, and our role, individually and collectively, in it. I want to point out that this is where things get tricky for Unitarian Universalists, and some of these ideas I've shared before. Acceptance of one another actually might mean that you have to accept that someone has radically different ideas than you. Ideas about God and humanity, nature and death, love and loss. The beauty and the challenge of Unitarian Universalism is our plurality. Many different viewpoints attempting to live and work together, following our 7 principles that we each make sense of differently. It's a wonderful thing, but it also means that acceptance becomes an active task. It is one thing to say we accept everyone. It is a whole other thing to truly accept everyone. But I do feel that it is a worthy goal, and I am glad that our principles hold us to that standard. But the other active part of the acceptance process is the encouragement. The encouragement to spiritual growth, to do better, to be better, to live better. And we can all do that. I'm pretty sure that I've heard even His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, talk about his need to read, experience, learn, and grow. He's acknowledged that if more information comes out in the world, then he has to, and his followers have to, add it into what they know and think about it. So if he can recognize that he can still learn and grow, I mean, he's supposed to be the Buddha incarnate. If His Holiness believes it is necessary, I hope we can all agree that all of us need to learn this part. And here's the connection for me. We tend not to accept others, or we feel fine in our judgment of others because we have not fully accepted ourselves. So we cannot truly be accepting until we accept that maybe we, me, I, we, are not in fact highly enlightened beings, that we do not, in fact, know everything, that we are not, in fact, the best you ever. The encouragement to growth starts with ourselves. A deep look and a radical acceptance of our flaws, our limitations, our trauma, our humanity, and our gifts. When we see that I cannot see you because I cannot yet fully see me, we can begin to address our spiritual growing edges. But fear often stops us. Fear of others, fear of change, fear of the unknown, of being called out, fear of missing out, as well as those deep-seated fears that were laid down in us and in our nature ages ago that we may not even be aware of. Fear is a barrier. Fear undoes us. Tara Brach says, when we stop fighting the energy that has been bound in fear, it naturally releases into the boundless sea of awareness. The more we awaken to the grip of fear, the more radiant and free becomes our heart. I invite all of us into a space of radical acceptance of ourselves, warts and all, and of others, warts and all, and to use that acceptance as the opening to real transformative spiritual growth. And you know what? If we all engage in that mindset, we can really, truly encourage one another on our spiritual journeys and on our collective journey as a UU community. May it be so.
Please join in our singing together the hymn, Wake Now My Senses. This has been pre-recorded and it's sung by Ella Catabiani and accompanied by Catherine. The words will be on your screen.
Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with
Our closing words are from Reverend Dr. Andrew Pakula, American UU minister who serves in England. There are miles behind you and many more ahead. As you journey on toward wholeness, may all that is good and true guide your way. May the joy of love lighten every step, and the miracle that is life be ever in your sight. John will extinguish the chalice.
We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Catherine will lead us in the sung benediction.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. From you,
You I receive, to
to
you
I
I give, together
we
we
share,
share,
and
and
from
from
this
this
we
we
live.
live.
Everyone is invited to stay for our virtual coffee together. You'll be assigned automatically to a breakout room. Have a nice week.
Thank you.
Breakout room 3.